I'm sitting here at Greek Gin Pianos with a piano we've never seen before. It's called a Euterpe, or perhaps in its original German, Euterpe, which I'm not saying very well. And I mentioned German because this piano was made for Bechstein, who was based in Berlin, Germany. Well, Bechstein, they're a piano company that's been in business since 1853. Incidentally, the same year Steinway was founded in New York City. And, well, they're known for very high quality pianos that have been on the concert stage, particularly in Europe, especially favored in Eastern Europe for many decades, at a time when Steinways weren't as widespread as they have been today. Many composers and pianists grew up on Bechsteins, or at least had them later in their lives, include the famous Franz Liszt. And, well, as the times passed, Germany went through some difficulties, and by the time this piano was made, Bechstein had suffered through a lot of downturns, but had bounced back, making just as excellent high-quality pianos as they had ever made. But when this was made in 2004, they saw the need to make a piano, according to their design, that would be a whole lot more affordable than the ones they were making in Germany, which can be very expensive. And so this piano is the result of a partnership between Bechstein and Samik, the Korean piano company that we are very familiar with here in our shop. We get Samik pianos regularly. This was made by Samik in Indonesia for Bechstein, according to Bechstein's designs, and I'm almost certain it was finished off in Bechstein's factories in Germany with the final regulation and voicing. It even has Wurzen hammers, which is a special type of felt process that, well, New York Steinway used to use until 1941, when it was no longer available to Steinway. I don't know if it's a trade secret, but it's a sort of process that they put hammer felt through to produce a very warm sound, and that's what this piano has. This piano is a very warm, very mellow sound, very smooth, which is, in my opinion, especially favorable for pianists that have that sort of Central European tradition. They're known for more of a darker sound, and this piano certainly has it. And to draw the parallel, since I mentioned Steinway already, this is kind of, in my opinion, equivalent to the Essex piano that Steinway has manufactured for them in China by a different company, Pearl River, incidentally. This piano is, in my opinion, the equivalent to that in Bechstein's lineup, because they also make another piano in Poland or Czech Republic called the Hoffman, which is, in my opinion, equivalent to the Boston piano that Steinway manufactures. All these companies have sort of come out with these different product lines at different price points to introduce maybe more people to the brand that otherwise wouldn't know them. And that's how this piano came to be. It has a German design, made in Indonesia, finished off in Germany. Really well put together. Pleasure to service, pleasure to tune. The tune pins are tight. Has a very strong, powerful bass sound, which, in my opinion, is common to German upright pianos. I think they often outdo many competing companies in that regard. But overall, the piano has a very warm, mellow sound, and I think I'll rate it a 4 on the scale from 1 to 10, from mellow to bright. It's not a piano that will overwhelm a small living space, so if you have a small living space to put it in, especially if you're in an apartment or row home, you don't want to disturb your neighbors with too much sound, this piano will be just the right fit for a small living space. It has a very intimate, mellow, warm, introverted sort of sound, which, well, perhaps Bechstein was thinking of that when they were making and selling this piano. They know many of their customers in Europe would be living in apartments, as is often the case in crowded European cities. There's just not a whole lot of space, and you don't want to disturb your neighbors. This piano is voiced pretty mellow accordingly. That, in my opinion, is probably why this piano is as mellow as it is. But if that's not soft enough, you can use the middle pedal practice mute, which operates just like it would on any other piano. Press down the middle pedal, shift it over to the left, puts a curtain of felt in between the hammers and the strings, so you can practice even more quietly whenever you need to. The touch, I would say, is on the light side. It's not hard at all. It'd be fair for me to call it a 4 on the scale from 1 to 10, from light to firm. And the very few Bechsteins I've ever played in my life, or Bechstein products, as this would be, they all tend to have a lighter touch, and that seems to be their tradition. Not every piano manufacturer has aimed to produce a piano with a really firm action, as some companies have, especially well-known companies. There are different traditions of piano making around the world, and it's something I've noticed to be in common with piano makers coming out of the eastern part of Germany, Austria with Bosendorfer. The touch is not usually as hard. It's a lot easier on the fingers. Very similar, I think, to what a composer like Beethoven or Mozart would have known on their own pianos, which had a very easy action, as was the tradition at that time that they lived. This Bechstein, I've noticed, tends to take after that tradition, perhaps more than other manufacturers, and so the keyboard is not too hard, but it's still super, super smooth. So 4 and 4 for tone and touch. Of course, like everything else we sell, this has a 10-year warranty, all parts and labor, and 100% lifetime trade-up guarantee. Just please make sure you have it in tune twice a year by a professional technician, and that you keep it away from extremes of humidity. If you do that, you can return to us at any point in the future, trade this piano in for precisely its instrument sales price, and upgrade to another piano in our inventory, paying merely the difference in price between the first piano and the second piano, plus any shipping and tax if it pertains. Probably won't feel a need to do so anytime soon, unless you have the room later on for a grand piano. And in any case, this is a really well put together piano, very thoughtfully designed. I thought it was very easy to service, get into all the different parts, and it was very straightforward. So if anything should go wrong in the future, I don't think you'll have trouble finding a technician who will be able to fix it, even beyond the 10-year warranty period. So, oh, and one last thing I almost forgot. It does come with its original bench. It's not a duet bench, it's an adjustable bench. It doesn't open to store music. There are mechanisms underneath to adjust the seat up and down, with these knobs on the right and left. It reminds me a lot of benches I've seen that came in with Petrov pianos that we've had in our inventory. Perhaps it was made by the same manufacturer in Europe that Petrov got their benches from. Very comfortable, nice suede top, very, very compact, so suitable for a small, tight space. Please stop by, try it out for yourself. You can play this or anything else in their inventory, but if you can't make it, you can always give us a phone call or send us an email if you have any questions.